Come on guys, let's learn Git and GitHub today. In this video, I will show how developers use Git and GitHub. So I will cover basic Git commands, advanced Git commands, and complete Git and GitHub workflow in this video. So let's start. First, what exactly is Git? So Git is a version control system. It's most used or most popular version control system in this world. So what is version control system? So it's a version control system. It's a software that tracks and manage changes to files over time. Basically, it will track your file changes. Or as a developer's perspective, you can say it's a tool which tracks the source code history. So why do we need to track source code or any file history? The three main reason is revisit, compare, and undoing the changes. So for example, if as a developer you modified some code 1 week ago, and if you want to revisit to that changes, and if you want to compare current version of code with the previous version of code, or if you want to undoing the changes what you have done now, then you need a tool, version control tool like Git. So basically, to time travel back to the older version of your source code, we need Git. So there are two things. One is Git, another is GitHub. What is the difference between these two? The Git that we basically install this in on your local laptop, and if you want to track the history of source code in your local laptop, then you can use Git. But if, for example, if multiple developers are or multiple users are contributing to a project, then you need a place where centralized place where you can store your code, your project code. For that reason, we can use any SCM tools like GitHub. So I will explain later what is Git and GitHub furthermore in this video. But first, let's install Git and let's start learning Git commands, and later we can go for Git and GitHub workflows. So to install Git, you can open any browser and you can search for install Git. Then you have the option page called as download Git page. Then according to your OS, you can choose Mac OS, Windows, or Linux. Now I am using Windows, so click on Windows, then click here to download. So it will start downloading the installation package of Git. Once that download is done, we can proceed for installation. So Git is downloaded now, and double click on that, and it will ask for the permission, admin permission. Click on yes, then you can read the license or agreement and other things. You can click on next. You can keep everything as a default now. If you want to, if specific changes you need, then you can do that. Otherwise, keep everything as default and click on next. Then install the Git. Click on install. It will start installing the Git. It's installed now, and click on finish. Then once it is installed, you can go for search bar and you can search for Git. Git bash is installed now. Let's open that. So I will change the directory to GitHub directory. I've already created that. So to practice or to learn Git, we are going to create one empty directory first. You can call it as using mkdir or file manager also. You can create a empty directory, or you can use mkdir command. I will say git repo practice, and then we'll go to that directory. So let's run first git command now. So I will run git status. It's the first git command. It's a harmless command. It will just show the status of your repository or a directory. So it's a not a git repository now. So it's just an empty directory that I have created now. So repository is nothing but a directory where you store or host your source code. It's just like any other directory, but it has generally we store source code in Git repository. So to convert, this is not a Git directory now. So to convert this to Git repository, we have a command called as git init. So once you run git init, the normal directory will convert it to a git repository. Now this directory which that I created, git repo practice, it's a git repository now. So if I run ls now, there are no files are created now. But if I run ls-a, so an directory called .git directory is created now. This .git directory is a hidden directory. That's why when I run ls, it didn't show up. But when I run ls-a, .git directory is there. So next, we have learned two commands now: git status and another is git init. Git init, it will create a git repository. To initialize git repository, we can use git init. Then now if I run git status, now you can see it's not showing like it's not a git repository or something like that, but it's showing different message. So it means now this git repo practice is a git repository now. So once our empty git repository created, developer can write code inside this directory now. I will create some sample files now. Just assume these files as a actual code. So vi sample file 1, I will just write sample code, create two files now. One is sample file 1 and another is sample file 2. So I have created two files and I have saved those two files. So generally, if I save the file, so it's these files are not tracked by Git now. So to for example, if you want to track these two files by Git, then we have to do a step called as git commit. So if you are 100% sure about your file changes, then you can run git commit. So before git commit, we have another step called as adding these files to the staging area. It's an intermediate step. So to adding to the staging area, we have the command called as git add. Git add, then the file name, which file you have changed. Now, for example, I am 100% sure about the file changes that I have done on sample file 1. Then I can add only that file to the staging area. For that, I can run git add sample file 1. Then if you want to commit or if you want git to track your file, then you can run the command called as git commit. Before that, I can run git status also now. If I run git status now, you can see the new file sample file 1 is in green, but sample file 2 is still in untracked file file status. So now if I run git commit, the file which are in green only, it will commit it to git, means it is now tracked by git. So for git commit, the command is git commit then -m, and you can give a message. This we call it as a commit message. So adding sample file 1. So generally in commit message, developers will write what they have done and why they have done those changes. Those details they can add in commit message, so that if any other developers see those changes, they will get to know that why that particular developer done those changes. Then I can run git commit -m. So now the changes is committed. My file, the changes I have done to sample file 1 is committed to git. How do we make sure that it is committed? For that, we have a command called as git log. So once I run git log, there is only one commit now, and the commit message also I can see adding sample file 1. So now file changes is committed. So this is the general flow. First we run git init to create a empty repository. Then we created two files. Then we saved those file changes. Then to add into the intermediate staging area, we run a command called git add. Then to make sure that git is tracking that file, we run a command called as git commit. Then we ran git log to know the status of the to get list of the commits in this repository. So this is the flow we have learned. First, we created two files and we saved it. Once we saved it, it is saved into my directory, or we can call it as a working directory. Working directory is nothing but the directory where our source code is exists. That is working directory. Then we can add those files into the staging area, that is using git add command. That's the intermediate stage. Why staging area is required? Because, for example, as a developer, I modified some 10 files. Then I'm 100% sure that 4 file changes are I want to commit, and 6 file changes I'm not sure. Then I can add only those 4 files into the staging area. Then if I run git commit, only those 4 files changes are committed to Git. Those other 6 file changes is still in the working directory. So in that case, we can segregation. We can use the staging area for intermediate. You can create as an intermediate commit. So these are the two steps. One is git add, then git commit. I will explain later git push command. So this is how you can track files using it. But if multiple developers or multiple users are using this source code, then we can't keep our repository in my laptop. For that reason, we need GitHub. In GitHub, we create a centralized repository so that all the developers can use that code. So I will show that now. So to log in into GitHub, you can search for github.com, or if you don't, if the account is already in github.com account is already there, then you can directly log into github.com. Otherwise, you can search for github.com, and there's an option called a sign up, and you can sign up using your email ID. But for now, I have already have this account, so I can directly use that. I can directly log in into github.com, and I can create a new repository. So this is github.com dashboard, and now I'm going to create a new repository here. I can click on plus and new repository. Similarly, what I created in local laptop, same repository I can create here also. I can name that repository like git practice repo. So repository, there are two visibility. We have public and private. Public means anyone in this, anyone who is on the internet, they can see my repository. But private means I can choose who can see my repository. So I will keep it as private now. Then I can add a README file. README file means the description about this project. I can add that in a README file. Then I will explain these options later. Then click on create repository. Once that is done, you can see the repository is created now. So for now, only I am in this, I have access to this repository, but if multiple developers are working on this project, then I have to add other developers also. For that, I can go for settings and I can add collaborators, and I can add the other developers also. So click on collaborators and you can click on add people, and you can set the user ID, GitHub ID of the other developers. You can choose GitHub 2025 or 2027. These are my IDs only. So I will add other developers like this. So once I added, they will get an invite of this repository invite. So other developer will get an invite to the email, or you can just share this link also. And for now, I will go to another browser and I will paste that link. So Sandesh 230 invited to collaborate. I can accept that invitation. Other developer can accept that invitation. So other developers also have the access now. So now here I have logged in at Sandesh 2027. That is another developer, and my user GitHub ID is Sandesh 2026. So this is how we add other collaborators. Now, like in local repository, I can create files here. Can just add file, create new file, and sample files. Then there is no option called as for adding it to the staging area here. If I directly edit it in GitHub editor only, I can directly commit to main branch. I will explain what is the branch later. Give a commit message and commit. Like this, you can add multiple files, or you can upload files also. You can directly upload from your local. Choose your files and go to documents. GitHub. I have some code here. I can upload those files. Then you can give a commit message here. Uploaded initial code. And commit changes. So like this, you can create new file from the editor, or you can upload the file from the local also to GitHub repository. Now let me explain the branches topic. So you can see main is one branch here, git branch. So we can consider GitHub a repository as a tree, and a tree will have different branches, right? Like that, a repository will also have different branches. So main is a default branch. Then, for example, in an application, there will be several features, right? So develop each feature. You can create different branch. For each feature, you can create each branch, and one developer can work on one branch, and then he can develop feature one, and another developer can work on his own branch called feature two, and he can work on that feature. So like that, developers can work on their own feature. Then now, when the code is ready, they can merge that code back to the default branch, that is main branch. So main branch is a default branch, and it is a production ready branch. It is already always the clean code should be added to the main branch. So before merging the code from the feature branch to the main branch, we have to do the review and other things. So if everything is ready, and if everything is clear only, then if everything is clean, then they can merge that code into the main branch. Now the all my code is on main branch, the initial code. Now the developer one can create its own branch called as develop feature one, and he can develop the feature one from this branch using this branch. So once I create feature one branch, all the code from main branch will be copied to feature one branch. Now I have the initial code to develop feature one branch, feature one. Now I can modify this code now. Similarly, if developer 2 want to create his own feature 2 branch, first he have to switch the branch to main, then he have to create a branch called as feature 2. So that main branch code is initial code will be main branch code only. Click on feature 2. So feature 2 also created. So now I have three branches: main branch, feature 1, and feature 2 branch. So now I have the branches. Now for developers, generally they will not modify the code in GitHub only, because GitHub you can consider as a server, and generally they will modify the code in their local laptop using any IDs, or generally they modify it there, and they push their code into GitHub repository. So I will show that flow now. So GitHub repository is there now, initial repository. They can clone that repository into their local laptop. So for that, they can developer can copy this URL, click on code, and copy the HTTPS URL. Then they can go to git bash. I will go back to different directory now. Then I will clone that repository that I created in GitHub, git clone, and that URL, https github.com/ my username, and this is repository name .git. Once I clone that git, once I run that command, it will start copying that code into my local. So now git practice repo is there here, And if I go there, go inside practice repo, sorry, git practice repo, right? Cd dot cd git practice practice hyphen repo. Cd git practice hyphen repo. Okay. Now inside, I am inside this repository now, that is I have copied from GitHub. Now developer can modify their code. So before that, you have to switch to his branch. Now we can see we are in main branch now, and if I want to switch the branch, then I can do git switch command. You can use git switch or git checkout. Earlier only checkout command was there. Now in recently they have introduced one more command called a switch also. So I can use git switch, then the branch name, git switch feature one. So once I run git switch feature one, it shows like switch it to new branch feature one. Then branch feature one is set up to track origin slash feature one. Here origin slash feature one is nothing but origin is nothing but GitHub repository. So feature one is the branch feature one in my GitHub repository. So for example, if I run git branch hyphen a, so here you can see there are two local branches, that is main and feature one, and all others are remote branches, remote or GitHub repo branches. That is, one is main, then feature one, feature two. These all are remote or we'll call it as remote origin. This origin can be anything, but now it is a GitHub repository. So now if I see, I am in feature one branch now. Now developer can modify their code inside this repository, or they can add new code, or they can modify the existing code. Anything they can do. So I can modify one file now. I'm adding the feature one, and I can save that file. Or I want to modify another file also. For example, server.js, I want to modify. Then I can do that also. So like this, we can developer can modify their code. And I will save this file. So I have modified two files now, but I want to commit only the changes that I have done only to the server.js file. I don't want to commit sample file, because that changes I'm not sure. I want to remodify those changes, that file also. So in that case, I can add server.js only to the staging area using the command git add. Correct. So next command to commit, git commit -m modified server.js. Correct. So now I have modified this file in feature one branch in my local. And if I go to GitHub, and if I see main branch, there are nothing additional there. And if I go to feature one branch also, and if I check server.js, there is nothing is modified here. Here channel goal is channel goal only. The feature one is not added here. So that is because I have only committed to my local now. If I run git log, it will show all the commits which I have done on GitHub earlier, and then I have done it on now. This modified server.js is a recent command that I have done now. These all are the initial commands, initial commit, create sample file, uploaded initial code. These all are that I have done on GitHub only. So this commit is not there in GitHub now. If I go to GitHub, in GitHub also you can see the commits here. can see the 3 commits here, and here only 3 commits are there. Initial commit, create a sample file, upload an initial code. But if I see here, there are 4 commits: modified server.js, uploaded initial code, create sample file. If I want to see this log in only one line, I don't want to see this author and data and other things, I can run command git log one line. So there are only these 4 commits are there: modified server.js, initial code, create sample file, initial commit. Only 4 commits are there now. So now if I want to push this change to my GitHub also, then I have the command called as git push origin. Origin is nothing but that is pointed to my GitHub repository. Origin, then the branch name, which branch I want to push this to. I can say feature 1. So it will start pushing my code, my changes to GitHub also now. So as a developer, I have now developed feature 1, and I have committed, and I have pushed that changes to GitHub repository. Now if I refresh this, there should be one more commit called as modified server.js. Correct. And if I go to this, and if I check the server.js file also, I should see the feature 1 is added here. And also if I go to commit also, it will show the difference: modified server.js, and here you can see this is added. Initially it was like this line was like this, and I have modified that line to here like this. So that's how we push the local changes to GitHub. Now the changes is in feature 1 branch only. If I check main branch, it has only 3 commits now. Click on commits. So it has only 3 commits. So merge my change from feature 1 to main branch. I have to create a request called as pull request. You can click on compare and pull request here, or you can click on pull request and create new pull request here. So in new pull request, here you have to have the 2 options: compare and base. Compare should be the feature 1 branch. I want to merge feature 1 branch changes to main branch. So here you can see the arrow mark also. Feature 1 changes to main branch. Then you can create a pull request. Pull request is nothing but you are requesting your changes, you are requesting main branches to pull your changes. That's why it is called as a pull request. I can click on create pull request. So I already explained main branch code should be clean code. So feature 1 changes should be reviewed before merging that changes to main branch. For that reason, I can add a reviewer here. Reviewer should have the right access to this repository. That I have already added a collaborator now, so I can add him as a reviewer. So reviewer is added now. So reviewer can now review my code changes. So if I go to another account, and if I refresh here, and there is one pull request, and if I go here, and here I have the option like Sandesh 2026 requested your review on this pull request. So I can add my review here, add your review, and I can check the changes now. Changes here, files changed is only one file is changed, and changes channel equal to channel here like this. This is the change. So I can do it in split screen also. This one split or play and reload, and it will show in the split screen. So this is the change. Initial change is initially the code was like this. Now that is changed to this. So once I reviewed this code, if multiple changes are there, then multiple changes also I have to review. Once that is reviewed, I can click on review changes, and then I have 3 options. I can just add a comment, or I can request changes. For example, this code is not right. It might not work in the deployment. Then I can request changes to that developer. Then developer further they can he can work on he or she can work on that code, and they can then create one more pull request, or they can again ask the reviewer to review the code. For now, I can approve the changes. So if everything is all right, then I can approve this and I can add a comment. All good, and I can we can merge to the main branch now. Then submit review. Once the reviewer added this review comment, then if I go to my actual developer and if I refresh this page, here I can see the Sandesh 2027 already approved these changes and he added the comment also. So I can now merge this code changes to the main branch. For that, I will get an option called as merge pull request here. Merge pull request. Once I merge this pull request, the changes will be merged to the main branch also. So feature one is now in, and now I can deploy these changes to and deploy these changes to my application so that application will have the feature one also. Like this, in actual real world scenario also, new features will be deployed. Before deploying the real features, the code changes should be reviewed by the peer developer. So now this branch has also have 5 commits actually. It should be 4, but it has added one more commit called as a merge commit. This is the modified server.js. This is the actual commit that we have merged, and it added one more commit that is we call it as a merge commit. I will explain later what is merge commit and other things. Basically, it will point out that particular pull request only. This commit will, also it will have the same commit details what I have done in previous commit. But merge pull request also have the details of the pull request and other things. So from which branch we have merged these changes, those details will be added in this merge commit. This latest commit merge pull request. This is the merge. This is we call it the merge commit. Additional commit also it will add when we merge. So that is the flow. Then once it is merged to main, then if you want to release this version, then in GitHub we have the option called as create release, create a new release, and we can add a tag for that release. For example, this is the initial version. I can say 1.0 is the version of this application. Then 1.0, and the code target code will be in main branch. Main branch, I'm going to release it. So I can give a title as version 1.0, and whether it is a pre-release or the actual release, I can mark it as like that. So if it is production release, I can disable this. If it is a pre-release, then I can check this markers. So now consider it is a production release, then I can add up description and the source code. If there are any binary files I want to attach, those things I can attach here. Then I can publish release. So tag I have not chosen, I think. Create tag. So click on publish release. The version 1.0 is released now. If I go to code, I have a branches option here, main, feature one and feature two, and also tag option also here. Tag is also like a branch only, but tags, we can't modify the code inside tag. We have to create a branch from that tag, and then we can modify the code. So branch, it's like continuous status. We can modify the code inside branch, but tag is like a constant thing. So once we release the code, version 1 code is this, version 2 code is this. So if there are any bug in version 2, then we create a branch from that particular tag, then we work on that bug. So I'll explain these topics later also. So this is how this is the general flow. So initially we create a repository in GitHub, then developers can clone that repository using git clone command. Then they can modify the code using git add modified. Then they can add into the staging area using git add. Then they can commit that code. Then they can check the logs also. Then they can push using git push command. Once that is pushed, that is pushed to the feature one branch in GitHub. Then if I want to merge the changes to the main branch also, then they can create a pull request. Then reviewer can review that code. and once he approved, then that pull request can be merged into the main branch. So once it is merged, it will create another commit called as merge commit also. Then if you want to release that particular feature, then we can create a release using create release option. We can create a release, and we can create a tag, and we can create a release. So this is the general flow of developing the code. There are two branching strategy or flows we can use. Now one is Git flow, another one is GitHub flow. First, I will explain Git flow, what Git flow strategy will be looks like. So in Git flow, there are branches called as short-lived branches and long-lived branches. So long-lived branches are there are two long-lived branches in Git flow. One is master branch, another one is develop branch. So master branch, obviously, it will consist of so master branch consists of production ready code, and we will create one more branch from the master branch called as develop branch. So all the development will goes on this develop branch. This is also long-lived branch. So there are two long-lived branches, master and develop. Then if there are any features need to be created, then we will create a branch called as feature branches here. So similarly, I showed earlier. So we create a feature branch, and the feature will be developed on feature branch. Then once the feature is ready, then those code will be merged to the develop branch. So in develop branch, all the code will be merged. All the developed code will be merged into develop branch. Then all the features particular to a one version or one release is ready. Then we'll create a one more branch called as release branch. So this release branch might consist of feature one, feature two, feature three. All the features are consist of this. We are going to release that in a particular version. At that time, you will create the release branch. Then testing, pre-production work, all those things will be done on release branches. And if there are any bug on this in this particular release, then those bug fixes will be done on release branches. So only bug fixes will be done. No new code or new feature will be added while in release branches. So once those bug fixes are done, then that is merged to both develop branch as well as to master branch. Once the release is ready, it will the code will be merged to the master branch. And once it is merged, we will create a tag or version in master branch. Tag 0.1, like this, we will create a new version in master branch. This is the live version now. Now, for example, if you get a bug in live version, live and production version, then to fix that, we will create another branch called as hot fixes branch. So in hotfix branch, we will fix that bug that is there in live version. Then once it is fixed, then that code will also be merged to both develop branch as well as master branch. Like this is the flow. Two long-lived branches, master and develop branch. This hotfix, release, and feature branches. Once it is merged to develop and master, those branches will get deleted. So this is the Git flow. Another flow is called as GitHub flow. This is the much simpler flow. Here, only one long-lived branch, that is master or main branch, that is always reflect the production ready state. Then from that branch, whenever a new feature need to be created, we create a feature branch. Hence, the feature branch developer will work on this feature, and once everything is done, then they will create a pull request to merge that into the main branch. So while pull request, reviewer will review those code, and discussion will happen before merging to the main or master. So this is the very simple method. So if we are following CI/CD or continuous deployment, then GitHub flow will be used, because there is no concept of release on release, and everything is here. Release concept is not there here. CI/CD, because whenever new code is ready, then and that should be deployed continuously. That is continuous deployment. So there is no concept of release here. So if you are following some traditional approach, then you can use for Git flow. It is much stable than GitHub flow. But GitHub flow is much faster, and we'll get the continuous feedback, and we will fail fast. We will fix that code also very fast. So continuous deployment, we use GitHub flow. Much traditional approach like releases and other things, then you can use Git flow. These are the two flows in Git. So now we know how we can merge the branches using pull request in GitHub, but how we can merge in Git in local also we can run git merge command and we can merge two branches. I will show that now using git merge command. First, I will modify some file changes on feature branch. Then I will merge that changes to the main branch. So first, I am in main branch now. So I will switch the branch to feature one. It's now I'm in feature one branch. So I will modify some file, sample file only I will modify, and I will add some features. I will save this file. So once it is saved, what I have to do next? I have to add into the staging area using get add. Then I can commit with the message modified sample file. So it's committed now, and I can check the logs using git log hyphen one line. So this is the latest commit. Now I want to merge these changes to main branch. So if I check sample file now in feature branch, it has one more line, add some features. If I switch to main, and if I check same sample file here, it has only one line. Now I want to add those changes to this file in main branches. For that, I can run a command called as git merge. Git merge and which branch you want to merge. I want to merge feature one branch to main branch. So I have to be in target branch, and I have to pull that branch, the source branch I have to pull. So feature one is, I can consider the source branch. I want to pull the changes from the feature one branch. So git merge feature one. So it will start merging the changes. And you can add a merge commit also here. While merging, you can add a merge commit. I can change here merge branch feature one, or any message I can give commit message. Once it is saved, it will start merging. So merge made by the out strategy and sample file, and one file is changed. Now if I cat sample file, so those lines what I have changed in feature one branch is added to main branch also now. Like this, we can do a git merge using the git merge uh, for two different branches. So now, for example, I am working on feature one branch in my local, but in remote, I mean in GitHub, someone else modified those, and someone else modified the code in feature one branch. Then I want to pull that changes also into my local also. In that case, we have the two commands called as git fetch and git pull. I'm going to explain those two commands now. Before that, in feature one, I will modify some of the file. For example, in server.js, I'm going to modify the file. Feature one, something called as I have added it, and commit the changes. Now, if I want to pull these changes, I have the two options. One is git fetch. Can do git fetch origin in the feature one. So it will start fetching from GitHub. And now, if I run git log one line, still it has only 5 commits. If I latest commit is modified sample file. But if I checked in GitHub, it has also five commits. I'll go to GitHub. I click on code here. If I click on 5 commits here, so latest commit is update server.js. This commit is not there here. The latest commit is modified sample file only. So to fetch, if I run git fetch also, this change is not fetched to my local, but it is fetched to this origin feature one branch. What I have already explained is when I run git branch -a, there are two local branch, that is main and feature one branch, but there is other branches like origin/main, origin/feature two, origin/feature one reference also there. These are the GitHub branches. I can actually check out into or switch into this feature also, this branch also. For example, I can do git switch origin/feature one, or I can use git checkout. Checkout switcher, basically these are interchangeable. So now if I run git log one line, now you can see the latest commit is update server.js. So when I run git fetch, it is fetched to origin branch, not for the actual local branch. To merge the origin branch to local branch, we have to use the command called as git pull. So git pull is nothing but git fetch plus git merge. So it is merged to local branch also. So I will switch back to feature one now. And if I run git log here, the latest commit is still modified sample file. So I can run a command called as git pull origin feature one. So it start pulling the branches, pulling the changes. So I can do a merge commit also here. I saved. Now if I run git log one line, so that's server.js change commit also there. It should be there. So here you can see update server.js. This commit is pulled from GitHub now. So for pulling the changes, you can use the command called as git pull. Git fetch also you can use git fetch. It will not actually merge your changes to your working directory or your local branch. It will fetch to only origin branch. So if you use git pull, it will merge into your working directory and it will merge into your local branches. So that is the difference between git fetch and git pull. So one more thing, while merging the two branches, you can encounter merge conflict too. For example, if two developers on two different branches changes the same file and in the same line, if they have different changes, then it will cause the merge conflict. Then manually you have to resolve that merge conflict. That scenario I will show. For that, I will modify one of the file in feature one branch first. Feature change, and I will commit that. I will save that file first. Then I can do a git add and git commit. You can use git commit directly, and you can use -am instead of git add and git commit. If you're sure about the changes, you can skip that step also. Just make sure that you add the -a flag also. Sample file. So that is committed now. Now I can switch to main, and here also I can modify the same file and same line, but I will add different content now. Just assume that different developer are different developer modified this file and added main, and different developer modified this file and added different content. Now if I try to merge these two files, then we will get merge conflict actually. So before that, I will commit this change. Now I will try to merge the feature branch to this main branch. Git merge feature 1. So now you can see here auto merging sample file, conflict, merge conflict in sample file. Automatic merge is failed, fix conflict and then commit the result. So we have to manually resolve the conflict now. So for that we have to edit that sample file, and here you will get the markers like in feature one branch. In feature one branch, this is the line, and in main branch, this is the change. So first I will remove all these markers first. This one and this one and this one. This is how you manually resolve the merge conflict. And now I can choose either this line, this line. These are the two different lines. So as a developer, I can choose which line is suitable for this change. So I can use that change only. I can modify that file and I can save it now. Now merge conflict will be resolved. I can save the file. Again, I have to commit. So now it was on main conflict, main and merge conflict status. Now it should be in main. I clear the screen, and here you can see it is in main branch now. Earlier it was on merge conflict status. So this is how you can manually so resolve the merge conflict. These things you can do it on GitHub also. Here also you can do the merge conflict like that only. I will show that. So while merging the pull request, you can resolve the merge conflict in GitHub also. So in feature one branch, I will change one of the file, change the file, sample file. I will change feature one change, and will commit to feature one branch. Similarly, I will go to main branch, and I will open that same sample file, and I will edit the same line, line number 2, and I will do different content. The commit into main branch. Now, if I try to merge these two branches by creating pull request, new pull request, compare is feature one branch and base will be main branch. And if I create pull request, and if I go here and try to merge this pull request, I will merge pull request option is not enabled now because it has a merge conflict. So this branch has conflict that must be resolved first before merging. So I have to click on resolve conflict, and I have to do the same changes what I have similarly I have done on local. I have to remove the markers first. Then I can choose this line or this line. I can remove all other lines. And I can keep this change, and I can mark it as resolved and commit that merge. So now the merge conflict is resolved, and now if I open that pull request, I can see merge pull request option is enabled now. Now I can merge that into the main branch. Like this, when there is a merge conflict, you can manually go to that file and you can resolve that merge conflict, and you can choose which of the which option you want to choose. You can keep that line, and you can remove the other line, and you can merge that pull request. So now we have done with the basic Git commands and basic Git flow. Next, we'll go to the advanced Git commands. The first command is git diff. So next command is git diff. So git diff is, as the name suggests, it will show the difference between the two commits or two files or two branches. Those for those use cases you can use git diff. First, I will modify one of the file, sample file, and test, and I saved that changes. And now if I run git diff and git diff only, I will run git diff. Then I can see here sample file, and the additional line is test. Test is added now, so it will show the difference when I run git diff. And if I modify two files, for example, I will modify server.js also, and I will add something. And if I run git diff now, it will show the two file changes. So in sample file, it will show this test is added, and in server.js file also, this line was added. This was a change. Earlier it was like this, now it is like this. So like this, I can use git diff for if I modified the file, then if I want to know what I have changed before committing, then I can use git diff. Then I can also, if I git add, if I run git add sample file. Now if I run git diff -f staged, it's showing the staged changes, that is test. And if I modify the sample file now, and if I again run git diff staged, it will show the same actually. In staged, whatever the changes is there, it will show that test. So staged, what will do is it will do the previously committed file and the current staged file. It will compare those two files and it will show. And if I commit this now, and if I again run git diff staged, it will not show anything because in staged there is no files. And if I add both the files, I can add two or more files using git add dot. Add dot means it will add all the modified files to staged area. So if I again run git diff stage now you can see in it will show both the changes, like test2 that I have added now, and in server.js I have added these two. This is the change I have added. So it will show that. So that is about git diff. I can also do git diff for particular file. Git diff staged, I want to see only for a sample file. Then I can run like this. So it will show the changes only for the sample, only one file. Particular file also I can see, or all the files also I can see. So if I mention only git diff, it will compare the version of the modified file and the current version. If I git diff stage, it will compare the staged file and the current committed file. And if I do git diff file name, it will compare only the difference in the particular file. And I can use git diff for a particular branch also. For example, I can do git diff main and the feature one. Like this also I can do. So in feature one, this the feature change is there, and these lines are not there. Can if I do uh, reverse git diff feature one and then main, and I will remove this previous main one. Then it will show feature one is not there in main branch. These two are added. So like this, you can do git diff for between two branches, or for a particular file, or a staged area and committed files. Like this, we can use git diff to find out the difference between the two files or two branches. Same git diff we can use in git, you can find in GitHub also. Like if I go for any commits and if I click on one of the commit, I can see that this is also git like git diff only. Like here only one line was there earlier. Then in this commit, this one is added. So those things I can see it in GitHub also, both in split window or in the unified window. In the unified window, it will show similar to GitHub and Git local Git. It will show only in unified window. In GitHub, we can see it in a split window also. Also in pull request also I can see if you want to diff between two branches, then I can go here and if I see this pull request. And while files changed, I can see the whatever the changes you have done in multiple files. This is the difference between the two branches here in multiple files. So that's how you can use git diff in both Git and GitHub. That's one useful command to make sure that what you have changed and what you are going to commit those things, or what is the while merging two branches, you should make sure that what is the changes are done on source branch. To know that, I can use git diff before merging or before git commit. Okay, next command we are going to learn is git stash. So imagine a scenario: you are working on a branch and you have made some file changes, and that changes is not yet done. You are not yet comfortable to commit those changes. But another developer working on another branch, and he asked you to check his code. Then you have to switch your branch. But while switching branch, for example, I'm working on main branch now, and I have modified some of the files, and I'm not that comfortable to commit these changes. Then if another developer ask me to check the feature branch, then if I try to switch it to feature branch, it will give an error. Like your local changes to the following files would be overwritten by checkout. So if you switch my branch, the changes I have done in this branch, which is main branch, it will be overwritten from by the changes from the feature on branch. So to avoid that, I don't want to commit these changes also. Then I can have a solution called as git stash. It's like a temporary commit. So I can stash it, the changes I have done in my branch now. Then I can switch the branch and I can check the code in that branch. And I can come back to this branch and I can from the stash I can retrieve the changes I have done earlier, and I can I can continue the work on my branch. So I will show that now. Now I am not able to switch to the feature one branch. Now I don't want to commit these changes also. Then I can run a command called as git stash. So now you can see it is git stash now. And if I run git status now, git status, it will not show any changes. Earlier it was showing these two files are modified, but now it's not showing any changes because we have added that into stash. And I can list the stash also. Git stash list. It will show the stash list. This is the stash 0 and the WAP on main, and this is the added this stash is added now. Now I can switch to another branch, git, and if I check the sample file now, this is the current file, and if I check out git switch to feature 1, and if I check sample file here, it is different. And now if the developer wants me to check any another work, then I can review those work, and I can modify some of the files. For example, server.js I want to modify here, then I can modify that. Then I can make the can commit that. Now I can switch back to my previous branch, that is git switch main. So now if I check cat sample file, it is like this. Now, for example, if I modified something earlier and I stash that, then I can apply that stash using git stash pop. So these two files are modified now. And if I check cat sample file now, it added this test2 in that I have modified earlier. And that I retrieved from the stash now. My modifications what I've done is safe now, and I can retrieve back from stash. Like this, you can do a temporary commit using git stash. And now if I check git stash list, no stash is there because I have already applied that stash using git stash pop. There is another command git stash apply. If I run that command, then it will apply those changes to my current files, as well as it will keep those stash in my git stash. If I run git stash list, it will be there also. For that, I will create one stash now, git stash, and if I run git stash list, so there is one stash is there. Now I will create one more stash. I will modify one of the file, and if I stash it again, git stash again. Now if I run git stash list, there are two commits are in stash now. So I can apply this stash or this stash to my current working directory now. Now if I run cat sample file, it's only have test line only, still test only, and I can do git stash pop or git stash apply. I will do git stash apply now. Git stash apply and stash apply, I can do this stash or this stash. For example, if I want to apply this one, I can paste that. So now these files are modified. And if I run cat sample file, you can see test2 is there now. And that those stash will be preserved also. Like if I run git stash list, see. So if I create one stash and if I want to apply those stash multiple times, then I can use git stash apply. If I want to use that git stash only once, then I can use git stash pop. That is the difference. Git stash pop will remove from the stash list. Git stash apply, it will keep that stash in the list, even if I even after applying those changes. So use cases like for example, if I want to modify some file, then I keep that in a stash. Then if I want to apply those changes in multiple branches and multiple times, at that time I can just apply using git stash apply instead of git stash pop. And if I want to once I applied, and if that stash is no more required, then I can remove that git stash using git stash drop. Git stash drop, and this one. So this stash is dropped now, and if I run git stash list now, that will be not there. Only one stash will be there. And if I want to remove all the stash at once, then I can use git stash clear. So git stash clear. I will create one more stash and I will show how to clear all the stash at once. Git stash list. Two stashes are there. If I want to remove both the stash, then I can just run git stash clear. Then now if I run git stash list, that is not there. All the stash are clear now. This is how we can use git stash command. So next is whenever we run git log command, we see here head. So what is head in git? Generally head refers to the recent commit in that particular branch. Now I am in main branch, and recent commit in that branch is this one. So this is head of this particular branch now. So that is head in git. So next command we are going to learn is git checkout. So git checkout one is to switch the branch also we can use git checkout, like git checkout feature one. So it will switch the branch from main to feature one. So git checkout can be used for that purpose, or we can use git checkout for checking out particular commit. For example, if I git log one line, I want, for example, I want to check out this commit. I want to go to this commit, and I want to see the file changed in that particular commit. What is the file? What is the status of the file in that commit? For that, I can do git checkout. If I want to check out to this particular commit, I can copy and paste that commit ID. So now I am in. I'll clear the screen first. Then now you can see I am in this particular git this particular commit. It will not show any branch name because I am in now this particular uh, commit. If I run git log f1 line now, only the commit earlier to this commit the commit earlier to this commit will be shown. So only this commit is there now, and status of the file will be also changed. Like if I cat sample file now, only these three lines are there in this particular commit. So if you want to see the previous version, or if you want to travel back to the time and you want to see the previous version of the code, then you can get checkout to that particular commit ID. That is one use case of checkout. Generally, when you are checkout into the particular commit, we don't modify the files there. We generally modify the code in particular branch. So what we can do is we can check out to that the commit ID, then we can create a branch from that particular commit. To create the branch, you can use git switch, then -c to create the branch, then -c, then the branch name. I can say checkout branch. So it will create a branch called as checkout branch. The code will be from this commit. The code, whatever the code is there in this particular commit, that will be copied into this particular branch. Now you can modify the code inside this particular branch. So if I clear it, and you can see now I am in this particular branch. So like this, you can use checkout for particular commit, and you can create a branch from that particular commit, and you can work. That's the use case of check. Now I switch into main branch, and if I run git log, so these all are the commits, and this is head. And if I want to uh, go to one commit below the head commit, then I can just do git checkout head, then this symbol and one. And similarly, if I want to go 4 commits before head, then I can do head, this symbol and 4. So now if I clear, so it's gone to this particular commit now. So this is the one use case, git checkout main. Then if I want to do check out a particular another commit, for example 3 commits below head commit, then git checkout head 3, and if I clear it, it will show this particular commit ID. So like this, you can use git checkout for specific commit ID, or you can use the head and below head how many commits you want to go. You can specify that also. And now I am in main branch, and if I do cat sample file, this is the current version. The file is there in this state. And if I want to check out only this file for particular commit, then I can use git checkout. First, I will list git log one line. Then I can do a command called as git checkout. I want to go to this commit ID, and I want to go to that commit for only one file. Then I can do like this. So only this file is there in that particular commit ID now. And I clear. It is still there in main branch, but that sample file, you can see that sample file is changed because the sample file is in different commit now. Because I ran git checkout that particular commit ID to this particular sample file. Like this, we can check out specific file also instead of commit. So go back to the main current version. You can just do git checkout head, then the file name. So now if I cat this, it's there in the current version now. So like this, you can check out different versions of specific files. And next command is git restore. For example, if you modified some file and you want to restore that changes to specific commit, then you can use git restore also. Like now I modified sample file. I will try to modify sample file. Testing restore. So as a developer, I have modified some files now, and then if I want to restore it back or unmodify that change, then I can run git restore. So now the file has this content. If I want to restore that file, I can do git restore, then the file name, that is sample file. So it restored now. Again, if I run that same thing, sorry, add sample file. See, the testing restore line is removed now because it restored. The modify whatever I modified, that is removed now, restored now. And if I run git status, there is no, we can't see any modification or any untracked changes or something like that because we ran git restore. Once we git restore, that whatever we modified, that will be restored. The modification will be removed basically. Similarly, you can, if you want to restore the file into specific commit also, you can do that. For that, you can do git, clear the screen first, git restore, then the source we have to give, source. Here we have to specify the commit ID or commit ID, or you can use head and specific commit. For example, I want to go back 5 commits, then git restore, source, head 5, then file name. If I do this, then if I run cat sample file, only this line is there now. If I want to restore back into head, then I can run then cat, it restore the current version. Like this, you can, if you want to restore into specific commit or specific state, you can use git restore command. That is one use case of git restore. One more thing, git restore, you can use it for unstate the file also. I will show that. For example, if I want to change this file, restore, and I will add this into staging area, git add sample file. If I run git status, now sample file in staging area now. So if I want to move this from staging area to the working directory, then I can run git restore hyphen staged command. That command, it will show here also, git restore hyphen staged, then file name. You don't want to memorize that command, you can just, if you accidentally added some file to staging area, then if you want to unstage that file, then you can just run git restore hyphen staged, then the file name, that is sample file, like this. And if I run git status now, it is in unstaged state. So git restore we can use for to remove the file from staged area to unstaged area. That is one more use case of restore command. Next we will learn reset. So if you want to reset your repository to particular commit, for example, you accidentally added 2 3 dummy commits, and if you want to remove those, then you can use git reset command. I will show that. For example, now cat sample file is in this state, last message is restore. Now if you want to reset, I can run git reset, then head, I want to go back 3 commits back, then I can just run get reset 3. So these 2 files are modified, and if I run cat sample file, it is in same state. Even if I reset to this particular commit, still it's in uh, same state. That is because when you run git reset, the commits everything will be changed, but the working directory whatever we changed, that will be remain as it is. The working directory changes will not be resetted. Only the commit and other things will be reset. And if I run git log one line, you can see only these commits now. The 3 commits whatever we did earlier, that is gone now, because we reset it to head -3 command. So last those 3 commits will be gone when we run git reset. But the changes we have done in working directory, that will be there. Whatever we changed in the working directory, that will be there. Those changes will not be removed when we run git reset. If you want this working directory changes, whatever modification I have done and saved that file, right, earlier. If you want to remove that also, then we can run git reset hyphen hard command. So git reset hyphen hard, and I want to reset it to head -1. Now head is resetted, and the it is a hard reset. So if I run cat sample file now, it will be removed. All the contents also it will be removed. The modification whatever done in working directory, means whatever modification I have done and saved that file, right? Those are the removed. That is a use case for reset. Reset, it's like it's a dangerous command, so you should not do the hard reset on your Git repository. So only in some cases you can use git reset, like that modification is not required, and if you don't want to see that commit, then you can do the git reset hard. But generally, the best, that is not a best practice. So similar to git reset, we have another command called as git revoke. You can use that also. So git revoke, what will do is it will not remove the commit. It will just remove the changes what I have done in that particular commit, and also it will add one more commit to revoke those changes. So it's like you have done mistake, but you have changed that later. So in if someone see the commit history, they will get to know you have done some mistakes. So you revoke those changes. But if you done do the git reset, all the commits will be gone. But if you do git revoke, that is some safer option to revoke your changes. You can use git revoke. Git revoke. Then the commit ID, I can use one of these commit ID. So if I do git revoke, this command will, sorry, is that it's not revoke, it's revolt. Git revolt the commit ID. So now that the changes are reverted, and if I run git log f1 line, I can see that commit will be reverted now. Think that didn't work. I will again run git revert, and the particular commit. And for example, I want to revert this commit or this commit. I will just revert this commit. For say for these are the initial commits. That's why I don't want to revert that. So once I run git revert, it will show this window, and it will add one more revert commit. For that, I have to have the commit message also. This will be the commit message, revert modified server.js. This will be the commit message. And if I save that, and again if I run git log f1 line, so this commit we reverted. This commit is still there, but it added one more commit called as this revert modified server.js. So whatever modification I have done on this, that will be reverted with this particular commit. But the commits will be there, but the changes will be reverted. That is the one more command called as git revert we can use instead of git reset. The safer option will be git revert. And next thing is, if I want to change the commit message, for example, I want to change this commit message, then I have the command called as git commit hyphen amend. If I do this, I can change the latest commit message. For example, if you by mistake you committed with a wrong commit message, then I can modify that commit message here. Amend commit. So now I have modified the commit message. Now if I run git log -1 line, so commit message is modified now. So like this, you can modify the commit message too if you by mistake if you added a wrong commit message. So next thing is whenever you merge two branches, there will be additional commit will be added that we call as commit message. For example, here also merge pull request from this. This is the commit merged commit. So if you want to go to GitHub also, here if I go to any commits, if I go to this commits, and here I can see this one is the commit message merge commit, and this one is also merge commit. These all are the merge commit. So whenever two branches are merged, there will be merge commit will be added. If I want to avoid that, then I can have the option called as git rebase. That is one more option, but git rebase is a complicated command. If you don't know about it, then don't run it. Do use git merge also, merge only. But git rebase also you can use. It's a advanced command, and you can utilize git rebase also. Now I'm going to uh, show the difference between git merge and git rebase. So in git merge, what happens is consider this below line is main branch, and the above line is the feature branch. And if you want to merge the changes from the main to feature bench, then we merge, and in feature bench there will be one more additional commit called as merge commit will be added. This dot and green line is it. This one is the merge commit. These all are the changes from the feature branch. These are the changes from the main branch. And if you want to merge the main branch changes to feature branch changes, then there will be additional commit. But in rebase, what will happen is it's slightly different from the git merge. So in git, this is the git rebase, and this is another way to merge. So this is similarly this is the master branch, this is the feature branch now. And if you want to merge from the changes of the main to feature branch, here what will happen is there will be no merge commit. That is one thing, and the main branch changes will be added back of this feature branch changes. So base of this feature branch will be changed. Base will be added with the main branch changes. So here you can see all these commits will be recent commits. These two commits will be added before these three commits, feature bench change commits. So base of this feature bench will be changed and merge commit will be avoided. So as base of the feature bench is changed, so it is called as rebase basically. So this is git rebase use case. So if you want to avoid merge commit, and if you want to the cleaner history, then you can use git rebase, but the history will be changed. And git rebase you can use only for example, if you have not shared your changes to other developer, then you can use git rebase on your particular development environment. But if you have already shared that with the others, then if you rebase that in your environment, then that will be cluttered, that your git commit will be cluttered, because in other developers commit history, these commits will be in another structure, and in your repository the structure will be changed, the commit history will be changed. That's why it's not a best practice to use git rebase when you already shared your changes to with the others. If you have not yet shared with the others, then you can use git rebase to change the history of the commit. That is the difference between git merge and git rebase. Let's see how we can use git rebase now. So I will show git rebase now. First I will clear the screen. Clear, then I will create one more branch, git switch -c. Will name it as rebase branch, and this will be branched out from the main branch. So now I am in rebase branch. For example, as a developer, I am working on the rebase branch, and I had modified some file here, and second I will quit and I will reopen that. And test 2, I will add one additional line now, and I'm going to commit this. And I will add one more, I will modify again, and I will add one more commit. 3, and saving the file, and I'm committing it again. So if I run git log one line now, so there are two other commits are added. These two are the recent commits from the feature branch. I can modify the commit message also, git commit amend, and rebase branch change. Okay, I modified the commit message now. If I run git log one line, so these two are the latest commit from the rebase branch. And if I go back to main now, git switch main, and I will do some changes here also. A sample file, or I will change some other file. Change. Okay. So in main branches, I have modified the changes. Now I want to merge the changes of main to my rebase branch. For that, first I have to go to rebase branch, git switch to rebase branch. Now if I try to merge, I can use git merge. If I use git merge, it will add one more commit message that is called as commit, that is called as merge commit. But now I want to do a git rebase main. Before that, if I run git log once, So latest commit is rebase branch modified. And in here, I think in main branch I have not committed the change. I will switch it back. Git switch main and server.js. I have not committed. I think its status. Yeah, it's still in modified status. I will commit this first. Git commit -m am main modified. So the latest commit in main branch is main modified, and latest commit in rebase branch is rebase modified, something like that. So main modified is the latest commit now. And if I switch it back to rebase branch now, and if I run git log one line here, this is the latest commit. So now if I run git rebase from main, so both the branches will be combined, and the changes will be merged, and the commit history of the target branch, that is a rebase branch, that will be changed. Here you can see rebase branch is modified. I modified this one, and one more commit, that is main modified. This commit is added before the changes what is there in the feature branch. So base of this branch is changed now. That is why it is called as rebase. That is the history will be cleaned history, because we are not getting any additional merge commit and other things. But the history of the commit structure will be changed when we use git rebase. That is that's the difference between git merge and git rebase. So there is one more use case for git rebase. You can change the commit history using git rebase, that we call as interactive git rebase. For that, I can use git rebase -i, and I want to change the history of these 4 or 5 commits. Then I can use git rebase, then head, and last 5 commits. I want to change the history of these commits. Then I can run this. Then there is a this window will come. Then if you want to modify any of the 5 commits, any of these commits, then I can modify those. So there are these are the actions: pick. Then here you can see reword, edit, squash, fix up. These are the action I can add here. So for example, I want to modify the commit message of one of this commit or two of these commits. Then I can use reword. Reword. So this commit will be reworded. So I want to change the commit message of this. So I added as reword, and then I can save this. So once it is saved, a new window will come to change the commit message. This is the commit message. So I want to change this. So I can use git revert also. Sorry, git amend the command also. But amend will be latest commit message will be I can modify there. But if I use git rebase interactive mode, then I can revert the previous commits also. Then if I save, then again if I run git log -f one line, the commit message is modified now. Here you can see reverted commit. So commit message I can change using git rebase. Like this, there are other actions also there. Git rebase -i, and there are other actions like pick, squash, fix up. Those are the other actions. And I can show one more action now. So now I want to combine two or more commits. At that time, I can use one more action called as fix up. So here I don't want this modified commit. Then I can just from pick to I can change to fix up, or I can just say for fix up. There's a shortcut. Can use fix up now. And if I save it, then the main modified, these two commits are there. Now, if I save this, only one commit will be there. That is main modified will be there, and modified commit will be removed. But the changes in this commit will be it will be there. Changes will be combined with this particular commit. So it will be, changes will be merged, but instead of two commits, only one commit will be there. But changes will be there. So rebase is successful now, and if I run git log one line, here you can see only modified commit is there, but earlier one was gone. That's how we can use. In here you can see there are two things, modified and main modified. Here only main modified is there. So that's how we can merge the two commits using git rebase. Let's see one more action. And if I run again rebase, git rebase FNI, that is interactive head, and how many commits I can choose that. And then if I want to remove particular commit, for example main modified commit, this commit I want to remove, then I can have one more action called as drop. So this commit will be dropped. If I save that, then that will be changed. Now you can see could not apply because rebase branch is modified. Okay, that's fine. But if you want to drop any commit, then you can use drop action. Then I can run git log one line. So that is removed now, like main modified commit is not there, but it's not in rebase is not completed because it could not apply that commit. That's okay. So this is how we can use git rebase command to change the commit history. You can modify the commit history using this command. So next command I want to show is git tag. In GitHub I already showed how I can create tag here. I can go here and I can create a new release. While creating a new release, I can create a tag also. Like that, I can create there. But in Git, we have a command called as git tag also. I can use git tag command. So tag is like branch. Tag is also I can consider as a label. For example, if you want to release version 1.0 of the application, then I can tag that version as a git tag version 1.0. So tag, we generally don't modify the code inside tag. We can't modify. But in branch, it's a continuously changing content. You can see. I can say branch is a continuously changing, but tag is a constant thing, and you can tag it as a label. So if you want to create a tag, you can do git tag, and now the latest commit. If I want to create a tag for that, then I can create a tag using git tag version 1.0. So now a tag is created. So version 1.0 is already exist. So it didn't create. If I do 1.1, it's created now. And if I want to see the tags, I can run git tag version 1.0 and 1.1 is there. This is how we can create a tag. This type of tag we can call it as a lightweight tag. And there is one more kind of tag that is called annotated tag. There you can give more information about the tag. So to create annotated tag, you can use git tag. Okay, git tag -a and the version, for example 1.2. And here I can give a message for that. Write a message and other things I can give. Application version 2.0, or if there are any other things if I want to specify that, I can add in this message. And then if I run git tag, there are three tags now. If I run git tag, it will not show the tag message, but if I run show, then then it will show the tag messages. So for that command will be git show. So git show command will be git show, then version 1.2. So it will give the author the modification what I have done on that, and the application tag, the tag message version 2.0, and whatever the modification there on that commit, it will show that also author everything. It will show all the details about the commit, that particular commit, as well as that particular tag. Like this, I can use annotated tag and the lightweight tags in Git. Then also you can push this tag to uh, GitHub using git push origin. Like you push the branches, I can push the tags also. Git push origin 1.1 or 1.2. Like that, you can push that into GitHub also. So I push that this tag now, and if I go here and if I go to releases, if I go to tags here, there are two tags now, 1.0 and 1.2. And if I want to push 1.2 also, then I can push that too. So 1.2 also push now. And if I go to GitHub and if I refresh, 1.2 tag also push to GitHub now. That's how we can push the tag. And if you want to delete the tag, then -d commit, we can command flag we can add git tag -d, then the version 1.1. If I want to delete git tag, so now it is deleted now, and git tag only two versions are there. Like this, we can use tagging for labeling and version releases. Other things we can use git tags, both the lightweight and annotated tag. That's it. Then I can create the shortcuts for git command also, alias I can create. For that, I have a command called as git config alias. I will show that now. For that, I can run git config -global and alias. For example, for git status, I don't want to run git status again and again. For real status, I want to run it as yes. If I run git yes, then it should show git status. Then the command. So git config -global alias.s status. If I run this, and now if I run git yes, it will show the status, git status. It will run git status. So yes is shortcut for status now. Similarly, if I want to do for commit, if I want to give C, then git C -name. So I have not modified any file, that's why I can't commit now. I will modify some file now. And again, if I run git C and -am testing alias, it should work. Yeah, it committed. So C is now commit. So for commit, C is the shortcut. Status, yes is shortcut. Like that, you can create shortcut for each command. That is one more helpful command for developers. So I have covered all the basic advanced Git commands, and also I have covered the Git and the GitHub workflow also. So last I will explain this flow, and I will end this video. So the flow will be there is a workspace or a working directory, you can say. There we will modify our files. Then once we modified that file, we will run git add. Once we run git add, those modification will be added to staging area. Then we run git commit. Then it will be committed to our local repository. And if you want to skip git add, then I can run git commit -a am then message. Then directly it will be committed to local repository. Then once that is committed, then if I want to push that changes to my remote repository, then I can run git push. Remote repository means GitHub repository. Then I can run git push. Then if you want to modify, reset a particular commit, or want to see the diff, then I can use git diff. For resetting file or again resetting commit, then I can use git reset command. Then next thing is git fetch. Git fetch is for fetching the changes from the remote. Then I can use git fetch. Or if you want to fetch plus merge, then I can run git pull. Or for initial repository cloning or repository copying to the local, I can run git clone command. This is the general workflow. These are the basic commands, but advanced command like rebase, other commands like restore, reset, those are the advanced commands, and I have showed those two, like for reverting the commit or amending the commit. Those things are the advanced commands. These are the basic commands. This is the basic git and GitHub flow. I have showed everything. So that's it. That is about Git and GitHub. So Git is the basically first tool you are going to learn in your DevOps journey. So if you want to learn more DevOps tools, then you can subscribe to the channel. That's it. Yeah, keep learning. Thank you.